In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to simplify ratios. So if you look at the first example here at the top, we have 5 feet over 10 feet. And so the first thing that we can do is whenever the units match, like feet and feet, you can cancel those out. Then what we want to look at is the 5 and the 10. And we want to see, okay, what can we divide both 5 and 10 by? And you can divide them both by 5. So if we divide 5 by 5, we get 1 on top, and 10 divided by 5 gives us 2 on the bottom. So the ratio 5 feet over 10 feet simplifies to 1/2. All right, looking at the next example, again, the units match, so we can cancel out the centimeters. And then we are looking at 12 and 15, and we need to decide what can we divide both 12 and 15 by. 12 and 15 are both divisible by 3. So if we divide them both by 3, on the top you would get 12 divided by 3 is 4, and on the bottom 15 divided by 3 is 5. So 12 centimeters over 15 centimeters simplifies to the ratio 4 over 5. So the next thing I want to show you is example C here. So if you look at example C, we have 50 seconds over 2 minutes. And the first thing, it says, what do you notice about these units? Well, the units are different, okay? Seconds and minutes do not match. So the first thing we need to do is convert either the seconds on the top to minutes or convert the minutes on the bottom to seconds. So if we look at the top first, there are 60 seconds that equals 1 minute. So on the top we have 50 seconds, and 50 seconds is not enough to make even 1 minute. So 50 seconds is not going to convert nicely to minutes. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave the top 50 seconds. But on the bottom then, 2 minutes, if we have 60 seconds in 1 minute, then we would do 2 times 60 to get 2 minutes, which gives us 120 seconds. So I converted the bottom by to seconds by multiplying by 60. Okay, so then the next thing is we're going to do exactly what we did up here at the top, and we have our units match, so I can cancel those out. And I want to see what I can divide 50 and 120 by, and I can divide both of them by 10. 50 divided by 10 gives me 5, and 120 divided by 10 gives me 12. So the ratio 50 seconds over 2 minutes simplifies to 5 over 12. Okay, so now the next one, we're going to work very similarly. So again, we have 2 yards to 15 feet. Well, to answer this question, the first thing we have to do is know how feet and yards relate. Okay, there are 3 feet that equals 1 yard. So if you think about the 2 yards on the top, 2 yards, if we multiply that by 3, would give us 6 feet. And on the bottom, we have 15 feet, and if we divide that by 3, we would get 5 yards. So this one you could convert either one. So let's just do the top one, 2 yards. If I multiply that by 3 feet each, I get 6 feet on the top over 15 feet on the bottom. So now my units match, so I can cancel those out. And now I want to see what I can divide 6 and 15 by. They are both divisible by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So again, 2 yards over 15 feet compared is really the same as the ratio 2/5. Our examples. All right, so in the next example here, we have how do feet and yards relate. So again, I'm sorry, not how do feet and yards relate. We already talked about that. So here we have 28 seconds over 2 minutes. So the first thing I need to do is figure out how seconds and minutes relate to each other. So I'm just going to do that off to the side. So we have 60 seconds equals 1 minute. 60 seconds equals 1 minute. All right, so at the top, 28 seconds is not going to convert nicely to minutes because it doesn't even make 1 minute. So what I'm going to do is convert the bottom 2 minutes into seconds by multiplying by 60. So on the top I have 28 seconds equals 2 times 60 is 120 seconds. So the next thing I'm going to do is cancel out my seconds, and I'm going to simplify 28 and 120. So we want to know what divides both of those. Well, to start with, I think they're both divisible by 4. 28 divided by 4 is 7, and 120 divided by 4 would be 30. And 7 over 30 does not simplify, so that is the ratio. Okay, let's look at another one. 22 inches and 3 feet. So first of all, we need to know how inches and feet relate. So there are 12 inches that equal 1 foot. So over here, 22 inches, if I want to convert that to feet, I would have to divide by 12, and that does not convert nicely. So on the bottom, 3 feet, I need to convert to inches. So what I could do is multiply this by 12, and I would get 36 inches on the bottom, and I would keep my 22 inches on the top. So then the next thing I have to do is cancel out my units because they match, and see what I can divide 22 and 36 by. And these are both divisible by 2. 22 divided by 2 is 11, and 36 divided by 2 is 18. So that simplifies to 11 over 18. Okay, in the next example we have feet and yards. So we're going to write the relationships. 3 feet equals 1 yard. So if I go over to the top, 6 feet, I could divide by 3, and that would give me 2 yards. Or I could take the 6 yards and multiply by 3, and that would give me 18 feet. So this one you can convert either way. So I'm going to divide this by 3, and that will give me 2 yards. And then on the bottom I have 6 yards. So now my units match, so I can cancel them. And 2 and 6 are both divisible by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that simplifies to the ratio 1/3. All right, let's look at one final example here. Notice in this one the units already match, so I can just cancel those. And now I'm going to look at what I can divide 36 and 12 both by. I can actually divide them both by 12. So I get 3 over 1, and that is the ratio. Now sometimes we think of 3 over 1 really just simplifies to 3, but if they want the ratio, which is what we're talking about here, we want to keep that 1 on the bottom. The ratio is 3 to 1. So there are some examples of how to simplify ratios.